What's up? It's me, Nate Jackson, Criterion person. Yes. Anyway, so Time Bandits. We're doing Time Bandits. 37. We're at 37. Can you believe it? We are almost making 40. And then we're almost making 50, and then 60 and 70, and woo! It just gets all higher. Anyway, Terry Gilliam, Time Bandits, the Python guy. Co-written by Palin, another Python guy, and it's a pretty one of the most fanciful, fantasy-driven movies we have so far, I believe. I mean, Beauty and the Beast was kind of fantasy, but at the same time, it was like, based on a story that most people know. This is like, a whole new thing. So this one movie, let's see, 81, 160 minutes, blah, 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 English, you know what I mean. You know what Python's all about. So yeah, basically, but it's not Python, that's the thing. It's not Python, it's George Harrison's handmade films, which, of course, George Harrison does the theme song at the end because he loved Python. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so this is about a boy named Kevin who's got parents who are obsessed with gadgets and microwaves and all kinds of stuff. And he goes to bed one night, and his horse comes through his wardrobe, and then he disappears, and Kevin's all freaked out. And then the next night, he's like got his flashlight and his camera, he's ready to take photos, and these dwarves come through, and they're time travelers, and they find out that one of Kevin's walls can be pushed, and they push Kevin's wall, and they escape from the Supreme Being who's chasing them down for taking this map that helps them time travel through space and time and blah, blah, blah. And then they go and they have these weird adventures, and they're basically thieves. The dwarves are thieves. Do we call them dwarves still? No, I'm gonna call them dwarves because that's what they call them on the back of the DVD. So if Criterion are gonna be politically, miscorrect with their terms and call them dwarves, then call them dwarves. Anyway, so basically they go in and they meet Robin Hood, played by John Cleese, and it's a brilliant little role where Cleese is like almost this really obliviously happy, obliviously polite guy, rather. And his bit is hilarious. He's only in one big scene, but still it's enough. And they got Sean Connery playing King. What's his name? What's the king's name? It's a famous guy, Agamemnon. Yeah, it's weird when you see him in roles because it's like all the impressions that you hear people do of his voice, they're right. They nail it. It's like he's doing an impression of himself, sometimes. But that's how he sounds. But anyway, and they meet Napoleon, and they steal Napoleon's stuff, and all this time they're being watched by an evil figure named Evil, who wants the map for himself, of course, because that's what evil people want. They want everything for themselves. They want power. And so he devises a plan to mind controls one of the dwarves into tricking them into wanting the most, what is it called? The most valuable object in the universe or something like that. And it's hilarious because they have to, like I said, they travel through time, and they get on the Titanic, and they meet the Minotaur, and this big giant with a ship on its head, and they eventually, are trapped by evil, as personified by this game show that they're watching, that the parents are watching them being called Your Money or Your Life. The host now tempts them with the most fabulous object in the universe, and they have to follow this maze, but it's a trap because when they get to the end, they're trapped in this cage. But they escape, and they finally meet up with Evil, and they try to battle him, but he's too quick and too powerful for them. No matter how many strong forces they get people from the Wild West and tanks and space ships and space fighters and all that, and Evil takes them all out. However, just when it seems all is lost, the Supreme Being comes in and saves them, and takes them back in and gives them their old jobs. But takes Kevin back to his. But Kevin returns to his own time, having being awoken by firefighters who tell him that there's a fire going on in his place, and they save him, and apparently the fire was started by something that happened in something that they were trying to cook, which they find out is a piece of evil that was broken out once from when evil had turned to stone. And they touch it, and then they disappear, and Kevin's all alone, and it's just a kind of a very mysterious ending. But I'm sure it makes sense to somebody who, cared for this movie a little more. Not saying that I didn't like it, but it was a little confusing at times. I feel like it's Terry Gilliam, so, you gotta understand that he's got a really wild imagination. And Palin, too. I mean, they're trying to make a kids movie, and it just... I'm not quite sure exactly how this would appeal to kids because of the fact that Python isn't supposed to appeal to kids because of their adult humor, But it's been over a year, over 10 years since Python started, so I'm sure that they figured it out. And they did Jabberwocky. Well, Gilliam did Jabberwocky, and Palin just started it, but that was a little more nonsensical, probably a little more. Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't think that was for kids at all. But yeah, Time Bandits was definitely aimed. Bandits was definitely aimed at kids because of the fantasy element. So yeah, that's about it. Gilliam, of course, what can be said for Gilliam's directional style? He definitely, as far as special effects, there's a lot of special effects. Of course, that awesome shot of the giant with the ship, and realize the ship has been on the giant's head. That's an awesome shot, as well as all the fireballs and projectiles that explode throughout the set on the set. All I said was, man, this must cost some money. But yeah, and it did rather well. There you go. So what do I give this? I'm gonna give it a B. I give it a B minus because it just wasn't the strongest movie I'd seen. There were nice moments like Cleese's Robin Hood, as well as Michael Palin and Shelley Duvall playing Vincent and Patsy, respectively. They had a little scene where they were like these little two traveling lovers, and Vincent keeps alluding to some problem he has down there, which I thought, oh, that's not for kids, but it's never quite explained what it is, but it felt like Python, and it was, with Palin's delivery, you can't go wrong. So yeah, I mean, it was scenes like that, but the overall storyline was just a little too confusing for me. So yeah, I'm giving it a B minus. Some funny scenes, and a nice story, a nice idea, but in the end, it doesn't hold up as strongly as other movies I've seen, at least in the Criterion collection. And yeah, that's it. So we got Time Bandit. So it's only 2 supplements here. They got Time Bandit Scrapbook, which is just a couple of just a 3-minute photo slideshow of behind the scenes shots, as well as promo shots of all the dwarves and Kevin, as well as the trailer, which is just a trailer. By this point, trailers weren't as cool as they were back in the 50s when Diabolique was the king. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. So, Time Bandits. Watch it if you got to. Check it out at least once. You might get something out of it. Whoa! Hey, I had bowls there. How about that? Awesome. Well, that was brilliant. That was the best throw I've had so far. Anyway, so number 38, Tokyo Drifter. Tokyo Drifter. Not Tokyo Drift. Not. No, not the Fast and Furious, but Tokyo Drifter. That'll be coming. Let's see. I think I'm still waiting for the 2011, 2012, the newer edition. The old ones at the library, I might check out both to just compare and contrast. I might do a compare and contrast next time. How about that? Keep them both on hand. But yeah, right now I'm still waiting on the newer version, which is coming in Link Plus. Should be here maybe today, tomorrow, and yeah, we'll probably get to it Friday or Saturday. Yeah, probably Friday would be best. And yeah, and then we got Branded to Kill, which I haven't been able to get the newer version, but hopefully there won't be too much that we're missing as far as supplements go. And of course, I'll always do a supplements video later. And then Armageddon, which I gotta get a hold on that one. And I need to I have to figure out some way to tie that movie into an elaborate parody of Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Got that song. So. Anyway, so yeah. So that's all I got for you right now. So thanks for watching. Go chase time and steal time and be a bandit and all that stuff. And we will see you probably Friday or Saturday for Tokyo Drifter. And until then, take care and goodbye.